right, good morning. If you remember on Friday, we took a look at DNA structure and we started to put those pieces together in the Jamboards, and you guys built a molecule of DNA. So I did tell you I'd give you a little bit of time today, so I want you to make sure that you finish that up. And then I'm going to have you start a POGIL, which will review this idea of DNA structure. And then finally fill in a slide for your digital notebook on DNA and its structure with a reflection slide. So let's take a look at those couple of things here real quick. So this is the DNA structure that you were working on. So depending on where you got, in class we finished up the putting the models together, and then I asked you to kind of work on answering these questions. So make sure you get these done, and also make sure that you watch this video. It's a really helpful video in terms of putting together these different concepts and the parts of the DNA, okay, and summarizing what's going on there. This idea of Chargaff will also be addressed in the POGIL that you're going to do. As you take a look at this, you're going to see that what Chargaff did is he analyzed the amount of A, T, G, and C. And what he found is that in human DNA, there's about 30% that's A and T, and about 20% of each G and C. So using that, think about how the structure of the model is supported by this data. If 30% of it is T and 30% of it is A, and then 20% of it is C and 20% of it is G, why is that? How is that shown in our DNA model? Okay, so that's a question that I thought you might get a little bit stuck on. Then I want you to work through, oh, I think I closed it, the DNA POGIL, okay, which you'll see on Classroom. And you're going to do just Model 1. So as you look at this assignment, again, like always, make sure that you read. This should reinforce what we did with the DNA structure activity. You'll see the parts of the nucleotide there. Again, it's going to ask you about the structures of those. So this really should be review and shouldn't be too difficult to do. Remember that the hydrogen bonds are these bonds that are here in the middle between the A, T, G, and C. And those are the weaker bonds that are going to be easier to come apart. Okay, so you're going to do 1 through 8. Again, here's Chargaff, which talks about the complementary pairs, which is the rule of A bonding to T and C bonding to G. So you should be able to fill that in. And this is where you'll stop, is after question number 9, thinking about that ladder. Okay, the last thing that you're going to do is you're going to open up your digital notebook, which you should have saved in your biology folder. It's also here, this Unit 2 digital notebook. If you've got it there, you can get to it through your list of assignments. I have mine saved here at the top. Okay, so you can look at mine again to get to know how to fill yours in. But what you're going to do, let mine load up here, is at this time, you've got your mitosis cell cycle resources. You may have started to add DNA resources because then you could have added the manipulation Jamboard. But I want you to add a reflection slide. So you're going to click the down arrow, click on the blank reflection slide. And the question that we're answering is how so how does the structure of DNA help it do its function? Okay, so you're going to answer that question. So you'll need to think about all of these things that we've looked at with this structure of DNA. As you watch the video, it gets into the function. Remember, the function essentially of DNA is to determine all of your traits, and you know that. So how is this structure of DNA helping to possibly determine traits? Now, you don't necessarily know what traits are, but you do know that DNA is determining traits. So think about this structure with the nucleotides and the fact that A has to always bond to T, G has to always bond to C, and the fact that those can be rearranged in the order. So how does that structure of DNA in terms of having hydrogen bonds in some places, which are weaker, the covalent bonds on the sides, which are stronger, which keeps that structure in order, how does that then help the DNA to determine traits? Okay, so answering those questions, thinking about that, think about what you know about DNA structure. So what have you learned so far about DNA structure? And what do you know so far about its function? And what are some things that you're still wondering in regards to what do we still need help with figuring out, or where are you stuck in regards to DNA structure? So I hope that you have a great Monday, and I will see you in class on Tuesday.